maybe I don't know.
Maybe he gets better. I just don't know. But if anybody else out there wants to know if he gets any better, you should probably take up that book. What was the name of it again?
This one?
Yes.
Gotta Let It Go.
So let it go. All right. And where can they check it out?
Okay, so both books are available on Amazon.com and also on my website, and that's www.authordlawrence.com if they would like a signed autograph copy.
Absolutely. Can they also find your blog from your website?
Yes, everything is connected. Also, my Twitter is there, my Instagram. They're all connected on my website. So on Instagram.
Give us the website one more time. Give us the website one more time.
www.authordlawrence.com.
All right, thank you so much for coming on. I mean, I know her merchandise will be up soon for Team Kyle or Team Hill. I know it's going to be up soon. If Jade has to do it herself for her, she will she will get it done.
Definitely. I already know that I'm not Team Kyle. I already had one of them husbands. I don't need to be Team Kyle.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
On that team, it wasn't fun.
But you know, Hill and Kyle, they're always like this. There are quite a few scenes where both men, you know, they're like tigers, and because she's in the middle, and you know, there's some residual, you know, because the ex-husband, they've been together, they have history, and then of course Hill represents things that are completely opposite, you know, but there's some interesting scenes where Kyle does good. He does good, surprisingly.
Well, we're excited to read more about it. And where can they find it one more time? Because I like shamelessly plugging people. So where can they find it one more time?
Both books are available at Amazon.com and also on my website at www.dlawrence.com.
I would like to thank you for coming on today. We really appreciate it. And you can find out everything your ladies are doing on www.andwethought.com. Take a moment, go to the ladies page and see the charities that we proudly support. And maybe you can help them too with maybe volunteering sometime. Why not? And just that wisdom is all around you. If
you're open to finding it and accepting it. So peace and love, you guys, from Winona.
And Jade.
Thank you so much, ladies. Have a great one. Thank you so much. Bye.
Hello, and welcome to the poetry reading, because, I mean, we're doing it poetry, but I'm so excited.
I know. Normally, I'm a little sad because, you know, the corona happened. I'm sad that people are dying in general. But I'm also sad for myself because this month is the only month I'm on TV.
And we get to, read some poetry.
And read poetry. Be like, hi, I'm a poet person.
But it doesn't matter because we have some wonderful poets today, and we wrote some books, so everyone can check out everything that we are doing on www.andwethought.com. Yeah, we're just going to cut it short because we have a lot of people in the room and a lot of poetry. So...
Jade is making me behave.
Behave. Thank you.
Okay, behaving I shall do.
For one time. Just one
by the way, I'm Winona.
And I'm Jade. All right, so no one really
cares.
Here's the poetry.
Serena, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and get us started on poetry because it is late where you are.
Yeah, so I'm a poet from Bradford, West Yorkshire. I've been writing poetry since I was about 6 years old. I write lots of poetry about mental health and social stigmas and about real life issues, really, about what's going on. Poetry was my kind of therapy growing up as a child. It really helped me escape certain situations in my life. In the last 3 years, I've been actively sharing poetry in Bradford, and it's now come to the point where I've been offered a publishing contract with the Verve Poetry Press in Birmingham. So yeah, it's been a journey of been a pretty amazing journey actually, and yeah, and now I've achieved a publishing contract, so I've just been so buzzing with it.
That's fabulous.
Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations. We're super excited for you.
Oh my goodness. Well, you read all over the place. Like the first time that I wanted to come to the Literary Book Festival was one of because I heard you read on Hannah Kate's show, actually.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I was like, well, where is she going? I want to go. So could you do our audience the lovely favor? Oh, did you have a question?
No.
Of reading some of your poetry.
I'd love to, yeah. I've got a couple of poems, and the first one is called, it's a newish poem, and it's called Behind the Glass. I'm missing my routine, watching spring flourish, watching the trees blossom, leaves green. I'm missing my link to nature. Running frees in the outdoors is my therapy. It's what I need to complete me. I love breathing in the air free from toxins. As I'm running, panting, gasping to breathe. All negativity, all the stress starts to leave. I miss the swans squawking, threatening me with their stare. Them not quite understanding why I'm actually there, but them wanting me to acknowledge that this is their peace. As much as it's my own stress release, I'm appreciating the things that were always hidden in between. My own silence and my busy routine. The beauty in things I failed to see because I was too lost in myself, too lost in me. I couldn't absorb things properly. So now amongst the fear I sometimes feel, I'm holding it together and keeping it real. Laughing out loud, I've not laughed this much. Keeping at a distance but spreading love that reaches the soul beyond touch. I'm soaking in the sunshine behind the glass, listening to the whispers of the grass, to its silence, to walk under the clear blue sky. I want to stand where the rays of the sun lie. I miss my taste of spring, and I sometimes feel like I'm suffocating. I'm trying to make sense of what I don't understand, making most of these days unplanned. While we stay indoors, we heal our land. So here through my glass window is where I'll stand. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness,
Very
that's so
nice,
beautiful.
very musical.
Thank you. I've got a couple more if that's okay.
Yes.
Yes, I was like 1 to 3 to share.
Um,
I'm looking for next.
Thank you. So this next one is because I know a lot of people are stuck at home and domestic violence is on the rise over in England. I'm probably sure it is worldwide. And it's just to share, to raise awareness for the women that are suffering in silence. It's called A Lonely Soul Without a Home. A lonely soul that has to hide feelings of being deeply unsatisfied, of being suppressed, filled with regret. Now a soul with a different mindset. She wants to cross the sea without drowning amongst its waves, living a life before she reaches the grave. It's the only place happiness will reach her when she's gone, without anyone holding on. Frozen, his object, his personal possession. Silence only fulfills his unhealthy obsession. She speaks, and he objects to his wrath she has to take when she has changed, but he is on the same path that she once outgrew many moons ago. He drip feeds his smile, and she sees entertainment for his alter ego. Shackled, he will never ever let her go, rather play his mind games and kill her slow. His words leave her breathless, in an empty nothingness, in the blackness of despair. She is fully aware his river can never be her ocean. He uses her pain to spark an emotion. When he sees her shine, anything to keep her in line, in check, under his threat, anything to keep her weak, so that she will never seek any other than him. Thank you.
Okay.
And my next poem is called, it's my last one as well, it's called A Recipe to Understanding Her. And I think many ladies might appreciate this one. You need an open heart, as open as the universe. Your love needs to be resilient like the darkness of a curse. You need a few drops of sweetener for when she's feeling bitter, or she will frazzle your brain like a 5G transmitter. Usually around the full moon or her PMT, she needs a few days of silence where she can be her own tidal wave or crashing of the sea. You will need a course in crash landing. When you feel she's becoming too demanding, it's a trigger. She's silently seeking your attention. Something she's not yet mentioned, because she's feeling a little raw, maybe a little insecure, and she needs a spoonful of your warmth on her forehead, your soft lips just resting there. In that silence she knows you care. Always best to reply with the truth. She needs a lifetime of truth, not even a droplet of a lie. You need to smile more and make her laugh daily. Joke and be silly and act a little crazy. Look in her eyes whenever she looks in yours. Just pause for a few seconds, embrace this moment. Leave the window to the soul open. Like an ocean, let it pool over your soul and take control of that ego. And know that when you let love flow, you leave that window open to understanding her better. She's the one your heart chose. Treasure that you met her. Thank you.
Very nice.
Thank you. Thank you for coming on.
David, what were you saying?
Very nice. Just simply very nice. I love the musicality.
Thank you.
Isn't that gorgeous? Yeah, you gotta. Once I heard her read, I was like, I gotta go to that festival. She does a great job.
Thank you
Great
so
job.
much.
Great poetry.
Thank
And
you.
you guys, if you want, she is also the runner-up for the 25 hottest 2020 poets. So she's the runner-up as the 2020 poet in our magazine this year. Congrats. Sorry, we forgot to tell you.
A lot of stuff happened. Like the magazine got together, and then it was like, hey, by the way, Corona's here. Shut everything down, and then we forgot a lot of things.
Okay.
So if you want to stay around a little bit and hear some other people read,
You can.
We'll probably do some Q&A at the end.
Okay, so next person is.
Okay, you get to pick.
Oh wow, I get to pick. So I'm gonna pick Tegan.
Yes, let's pick Tegan.
Oh my word, how did I know? Now I want to be British, though. Can I read in a British accent?
I don't know. Maybe
you can pull it off.
I will. No. So yeah, I heard 3 to 5 poems, so that is what I have prepared. But I guess we'll go lighter. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Tegan. I live in sunny Los Angeles, California. Now with my new cat, who you may have just seen. We're Corona quarantining. Super excited. Jade and Winona have been wonderful advocates of my poetry, and I've been working on a book for them, which will get done sometime. So I got nothing but time now. Because I have the book and it has 4 sections, I thought I would read from that. But I always like to preface it by the quote that the book title is based on, from the first letter in Letters to a Young Poet by Rainer Maria Rilke, which is, go within, search for the cause, find the impetus that bids you write, put it to this test. Does it stretch out its roots in the deepest place of your heart? So, I didn't write that. Okay, so I write poems about men and sex. That's what I do. So get ready. Here we go. So I have this book, and it's broken up into Northeast, South, and West. And so in each section, there are poems that are about specific people. And, I'm just feeling like it. So we're going to do it about those. So the first poem is called Riverbed. For those of you who know him, his name is Matt Kemp. Hey! All right, Riverbed. Tour of Omaha. Shoulder popped in 4 places. Drunk on Vicodin, burnt from perks. Muscles gave out in front of scouts. Perilous to hope and throw 90 miles per hour. 6 years later, Scotch on rocks and Malibu pineapple. Still breathes the ball. Distant dreams, closer, closer, one release, all over. Fame, fortune, cars, cash, endorsement deals, tits and ass. He was everything at 15. Done at 3, ham on wheat, AMC. Empty bed, no sheets. Button down, wrapped around me, blood flow slow to body, brain. Hard to believe he cares about anything. But he respects me, envies. I chased want past the Mississippi, Way east, dove deep, sifted seaweed, dead bodies, murky water, sandy floor. Perilous to live and swim, 90 miles per hour. Thank you. So yeah, that's about Matt Kemp. So that's north. And then in the east, we have a poem called Tectonic for an old friend of mine named Paige Baker. Paige, a boy, not a girl, Paige. So this one's for you. Tectonic. After 4 years, I thought we'd be different. Your smile more incredible, my mouth more magnificent, enough to make them meet for an instant. Instead, like always before, you call another girl yours. She calls the Catskills home, but found an apartment in your heart where rent is cheap and the view is phenomenal. I have roaches and rats in my rundown shack by the river. But if ever you visit, I will sleep against the rodent wall, allow vermin to inhabit my hair, how horrible thoughts have my head. Still unable to understand why I wasn't worth the ride or the time, though both rub me the right way. Polish this aborted birthstone to a high diamond shine. Perhaps I am too luminous. The distance between us is wider than the Mississippi, rockier than the mountain you met her on, deeper than the caverns beneath the earth. But I feel better when we're together, when we collide and rupture after 4 years or longer. I figure I'll just do a little dance at the end of every poem, and then you know it's done.
Yeah, I like that better.
I like it, like a little dance.
Okay, got it. All right, 2 more. So this one is from the South. This is about a gentleman named Brett, who's very handsome. And I actually don't know his last name. So there you go. Whoops. So this is called Threat Nasty. Shout out to my Alabama boys on this one. Okay. So, wake up next to Brett, stumble to toilet, vomit. Brush my teeth and return to bed. Don't know what happens then. Next thing, naked. Hand between legs, nothing said, not even my name. Brett can't think of it. I sit up. Don't know what happens next. Suddenly, 6'5" is under me, just kissing. He's good at it. I stop. This is my favorite part. Feels intimate, but it's not. Sad, really, that something so pretty could get wrapped up in something so drunk. I don't know what time we wake up. Sun rises, he tries to touch me again. I move his hand and go back to bed. Hours later, he's not there. Took his clothes to the sofa. We will never speak of this. The silence hurts a bit, but I'll get used to it. The South, the threat.
What? There's no dancing after that, I'm just sad.
I told you I would dance after all of them. Okay, this one I actually get to dance at the end. Okay, cool. All right, so, and then this one is from the South. South being, no, this is West, sorry. Because I used to live in Las Vegas before I lived in LA, both of which are technically West/Southwest. So I'll go with it. And this was written about a guy named Ramsey Rios, which is a great name. And as you can find out from the poem, he was a tourist. Because not everything stays in Vegas. No kidding. Thank you for laughing. All right, so this is called Boots to Asses. Big mistake, she thought as she pressed the tender spots on her neck. The marks were lavender, red-streaked, faint, but she had a date tonight, and not with the man who left his mouth prints on her chest. He was a tourist, a bank teller from Montana, reminded her of the sports stars she crushed on in high school, the ones who never looked on her with lust. This one wanted her ass in his face. She obliged multiple times and came twice.
Yeah, dancing after that one.
Dancing after.
Keegan, your poems always make me blush.
And
But fortunately for me, it's an American South.
so it doesn't really show up,
I can
right?
blush on.
It doesn't really
I didn't
show
get
up.
curse words today, though. I took all the curse words out for you.
Thank you.
I was so proud. I was like, she's not cursing? What?
What?
I only talk about like orgasms and stuff. It's cool, you know?
You keep in light.
Thank you, Tegan, so much for coming on. As always, so fun.
Starting to feel like the dirty old man peeping. I don't know. You didn't tell me this show was more than PG.
I took the first words out.
It doesn't bother me, but you know, as the senior citizen on the screen, I'm also unaccustomed to having a camera aimed at me while I listen.
I guess I can understand.
I gotta replay this to see your reaction.
Yeah, I know. I have to read it. Okay.
Our next one. Since you're already up, why don't you just go ahead and read,
Mr. Axelrod.
Okay,
Leo, what?
Okay. Well, I don't know. I'm watching for the frame to light up. There you are. All right. So I thought because I guessed I would be the senior citizen, I would start with rascals. Rascals. Does anyone still use the word rascal? My neighbor shouted it at us as he watched us fleeing his apple orchard with our contraband. What I say barely matters to young poets who machine gun words they memorize for a slam. I am a leather-bound book, foxed and brittle, while their revolution rounds up audiences who cheer. Years ago, I vowed I'd never say it was better in the old days. It wasn't. But these rascals, these shining young poets who could still notice my rebellion if they realized a quiet protest is also something to be heard. So that's me defending myself as I say, the senior member on the screen. I have to queue these up. I've got them in a list on the computer. So I don't know how it'll look while I do this, but I have a couple more. That's me typing in the background here. It says search. It would help if I typed it correctly. So here I am in friendly local Daytona Beach, and this is Old Hickory. I get my kind of political. It's a slightly different kind of political than yours might be. My southern hickory tree loses its leaves, looks dead for 5 months a year. It's likely 100, making it 20 years, my senior, but still hardwood, strong, shock resistant, unlike I who wobble, barely standing at day's end. Folks have advised me to chop it down. Andrew Jackson, racist, Indian killer, more stubborn than heroic, was called Old Hickory. He's not the man I want to be. I envy my tree, resurrecting each May, draped in flowers, old, but still reproducing, publicly nuts. Sure, it dropped some branches, but it's a role model for persistence. So that's, I'm working on, as I say, what will be my 23rd book. I'm going to pivot for a moment and show you the working cover. Let's see if that shows up on the camera.
It does.
It does, yeah.
Mother Tongue is the title, and that's adapted from a UNESCO United Nations poster. There's actually a Mother Tongue Day for whatever language you spoke when you were a child. So Mother Tongue, that's the book. And I'll queue up one more and then turn it over to you other wonderful poets. This is a bit of a protest poem. I'm not that political. You'll see what I mean in a moment. Good. One more click. There we go. In the service, I burned my draft card while 500,000 fellows went to war for what? Our soldiers are heroes, people said, but I pitied them as tools. I thought of them as fools, And what about 3 million victims in Vietnam? I spent hours coaching students to avoid the draft. I never signed petitions, avoided protest marches. Mine was guerrilla warfare. College had a compulsory ROTC. I reported to my square-chinned cadet commander who hollered at inspection, "We've got to kill those gooks." And I saluted him with my thumb to my nose. Later, he died bombing Hanoi. When asked, I tell you, I too was in the service, the Peace Brigade, and my idealism is still alive. So that's Axelrod the poet, which, by the way, you can find if you want to see a little more. Thank you for the clapping. Usually I have an applause sign behind my head. So I'm at poetrydoctor.org, O-R-G, by the way, as long as it's not a PG show. The org you might think is for organization. It's actually for orgasm. I have that side too, but I'll leave it to you women. Anyway, thank you for letting me read. I'm looking forward to hearing the others.
Thank you for coming on.
Before we leave, Mr. Axelrod, you said this is your 23rd book. And I believe you've held a certain title that we all wish we had. Can you tell us what title that is?
Yeah, I'm down in Daytona Beach. Before that, I was on Long Island for 40 years, and I was a poet laureate there. Now in Volusia County in Florida, I'm the Volusia County Poet Laureate. What that really does is let me meet a lot of good people. We do a young poets mentoring program. Otherwise, if I go out, you know, people my age are dead. You know, they're like, oh my God, he's a senior, don't speak to him. I have a lot of people think that seniors are the people who are giving them the virus. So when I walk down the street, people do this, like, stay away, stay away. But no, I enjoy having the post. And by the way, there's another wonderful woman who also shares the post, and her name is M.B. McClatchy. And so we do our thing down in here in Daytona. And I was very pleased when Winona and friend, please say your name again, because, you know, I know
Jade.
when you came down to Daytona and read for us. It was wonderful. Thank you for coming down here.
Absolutely, it was a blast. And of course you remember Winona, she's the cute one.
Why was I not invited to Florida?
Thank you. But was that National Poetry Month? It's National Poetry Month. I think you read at our festival.
Yes, we did.
Tegan, you weren't invited because he invited us and we got on a plane 24 hours later.
Absolutely. So that's why you weren't invited.
Well, I hope you sold some books. Did you sell some books? I hope so.
Absolutely. It doesn't matter. We got to read, which is more important to us than just about anything.
And it was in Florida and it was sunshiny. We didn't care.
We didn't care. Thank you so much, Mr. Axelrod, for coming on. David Driver, are you on?
Hey, I'm listening. Are you sure I'm on the right show? Because what's all this sex talk? I'm loving it.
It's Tegan's fault.
When the
show, you remember when we were supposed to come to your interview, but we got sick?
Yeah.
Tegan was one of the poets that was going to come with us.
Well, I've missed out there. I'm hoping I might get Brett's number before I finish because he sounds like one sexy man. Can you forward that number to me?
No,
I'm sorry.
I'm not alone today. I'm the Yorkshire gang, because if my memory serves me correctly, is that the gorgeous Sharina Lee Sarte who's been sharing some poetry? How are you doing, Sharina?
I'm good, thanks, David. How are you?
It was a surprise when I turned up, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, I can't think, is that David?
Yeah, we can have a really fast talk now in proper Yorkshire, and then you'll understand me, and then I'll have to speak a little bit slower and speak like Prince Charles for all these lovely people who understand me. How are you doing? Anyway, all right, Sharina?
Yeah, I'm good.
Good. Right, I best crack on because I'll get told off, you see, by these two lovely ladies.
We don't tell people off.
You did last time.
Move on, but not tell them off. No. That's not what a lady does.
No.
I'm not going to answer that one. I'm not going to answer it. I've only got three. I've only got 3 poems because that's what you told me to.
Yeah.
That's what you told me to write. So I've got a couple of new ones, and I do have a little bit of a steamy one for you. And look at Tegan, look at your face, laughing there. Okay, this first one, it's only about a week old, and we're on a lockdown, as all you lovely people know. And it's called 4 New Friends, and it's about being locked. It's about being locked inside. It's about being locked inside for on these COVID-19 dreadful times, and it goes like this: within these 4 walls, I've made 4 new friends, catching up on the gossip, making amends, drowned in on dry land, a diver without the bends. A 21st century Ben Gunn, let me out, please. I'm fed up with eating tin spam, and I really don't like cheese. Imprisoned in my living room, and a blind jailer holds the keys. UK gold with Bergerac, beans on toast, and a pack of Karamak. When this is over, I'm sending my skybox back. 5 cards stud, but no one's dealing. Your face is cracked, and your claws are peeling. By not answering my questions, my sanity you're stealing. With a magnificent 7, including ceiling and floor. But wait a minute, window wants to join, and so does door. Please play nicely. I can't take any more. A human goldfish going round in my own living room. There's no point broadcasting the weather. It's all doom and gloom. Insanity season, and the madness is in bloom. So that's my first offering, people. And the second one, I've got 3 contrasting poems for you, lovely people, this evening. This has been inspired by, and I know Sharina knows what I'm talking about, but I've been out for a few walks, Sharina, in the lovely town where I live of Silsden, and this is where it comes from. I've been walking along the river and the canal with our little dog Betty, and this is how it goes. It's called Don't Say a Word. Soaking in the silence, soothed by the calmness, the sunshine, and a gentle breeze blowing lightly on my face. Bushes bloom bearing berries which feed my feathered friends. I close my eyes and birdsong takes me to happy memories. Dragonflies hover over a summer pond, and fish lightly break the surface, talking in bubbles of silent speech. A red kite soars on advantageous thermals, searching for a lazy hare lost in dreams. Swallows swoop, gulping from the water of canals, whilst mallards rest at ease on the far side, away from the worn boots of ramblers, which have clocked up 1,000 miles. Shh, don't say a word. So that's my... Sorry?
Is it prettier because you have this awesome accent to us? Maybe that's what it is.
I think
I could never write like that. Maybe it's just because I don't.
I wouldn't really say it with an awesome accent. I mean, to you lovely people in the good old US of A, it might sound, but you see, Sharina knows. You see, we're just some rough northerners from the north of England now. Some people can't understand what I am saying. So
I'm in York, believe me. I'm in the rough north too, but I'm an American.
Oh, you see, you'll understand what I'm saying. Won't you, Rose?
Yes. No, I'm in Yorkshire. So yeah.
Yorkshire, you see, yeah. Well, I told you last time. It's Yorkshire. It's the best place to be. Right, are you ready, Lynn? This last one is a little bit longer and a little bit steamier. So here we go. This was called Cab Ride, and this is inspired by my trips down to London. But obviously we won't be going this year. We're supposed to be going at the end of July, beginning of August, but we've had to cancel due to obvious times. And I suppose it's got a little bit of film noir, if you like it, the old sort of classics from the 50s And the 50s and the 60s. Not that I'm old enough to remember, but it's my birthday on Friday, so I hope you've put a card in the post. Have you posted my birthday card? Have you posted me a birthday card for Friday?
I think that's a question to Sharina.
Yeah, right.
No,
it wouldn't get there till like.
Sharina doesn't forget my birthday. I'm 65. No, I'm not. Okay, get on with it, David. Right, it's called Cab Ride, and it goes like this. Scents, smells, scintillating sensations of the city. Indian spices, Turkish kebabs, cheap burgers, and coffee under the mighty symbol of the big yellow M. The chippy conquered by the foreign invader. They tasted better in good old newspaper. Reminiscing. Too much thinking. No need. It's Thursday. Early finish. Escape the prison of that bloody office 4 floors up. A change in the weather. Nagging chilly wind with light rain. April. I wish you were warmer. My favourite bottle of red fits snugly inside the pocket of my raincoat. No umbrella for me. It's all about film noir. It's not the first time. No, not by a long way. But my heart starts racing. A cocktail of nerves and excitement surge. Like a well-rehearsed piece, my ride awaits. Black curves covered with rain droplets sit well on well-worn tyres. Belching fumes into just another street in the capital, I open the door and step inside. Usual comes the only conversation needed, and I reply with a nod. The journey becomes a blur until we break away from the city, eyes open where the engine stands idle. 2 crisp notes are handed over and topped with a pack of 20 filter tip Norwegian cigarettes. Just after midnight comes a question, and I reply with a half smile. The winding drive is lined with rose bushes, and as I reach the porch, I can almost taste her flesh as a familiar perfume excites me. The door opens to reveal my raven-haired seductress draped in Chinese silk. How did you learn to smoke a cigarette like that? As the green dragon-etched garment is dropped to the floor, she smiles, turns, and walks away. 2 glasses await as we meet in the parlour, and I quickly produce the bottle of red. A fire burns, and delicate shadows dance over her soft, seductive curves. We both enjoy a glass, and then delicate, flirtatious fingers peel away my clothing and excite me almost to a climax. Like a wild white panther, she claws, bites, and excites. The rug is soft on my back as I lay exhausted, casting knowing, slow eyes over a sweat-soaked, curvaceous, pale flesh. We finish the wine, laugh, share another cigarette. 45s bring Hendrix, the Doors, and Mark Bolan to the party. She laughs and invites Patti Smith. Desire becomes a hunger. Laughter continues. Champagne is popped and shares ascended. The bedroom slakes more cravings of lust. She watches with a look only she can stare. I don't bother with the tie and house it in the pocket where the claret opened up the evening's thirst for desire. We don't use words for goodbyes. The latch drops and the cold air bites. Headlights are dipped, but the engine runs. I open the door and a black coffee waits on the back seat. It warms and sobers as we pull away, and I start another cab ride. And those are my offerings for tonight, my lovely people. I do hope you've enjoyed them.
London with you.
I know, right? Maybe we didn't do it right.
I don't think we did London correctly.
I don't think we did it right. All right, well, whatever.
I was on TV in London. I didn't have a cab ride like that.
You need to stick with me, kid. I'm telling you. You get to Yorkshire.
Thank you so much,
David.
We know it's late. Thank you for coming on.
It's my pleasure.
So our next person will be
Sherry.
Sherry. from good old here.
Yeah.
We visited England like twice today, so we're going back to America.
Yeah, we're back,
Right.
and I'm in Baltimore. Hi, everyone. Hi.
Baltimore, Baltimore.
Oh.
Everyone out for Baltimore. I went to school there. I liked it in Baltimore.
Oh, nice. Never
Nice,
visit.
nice. So I have 4 poems, but if there are too many, just give me a.
Okay.
Okay.
And these poems, I have 1 book of poetry out. I'm working on my 2nd collection, and I'll just start. The first piece is called In My Skin, and that will be the name of my collection, hopefully. So in my caramel-colored 5-foot 6-inch frame, in my thick thighs and high round buttocks, toned arms, large forehead, large face, almond-shaped eyes, full lips, laugh lines, large hands, and high instep feet, resides a finely grown woman. No more looking outside for guidance, but looking inside and upward for strength. Slowly and intentionally, I have blossomed into a middle-aged, non-blues wearing or carrying fireball who conquers her own demons and fills her own voids. In my caramel-colored, aging face and frame, I have less time for looking back and ahead. No more letting my empty parts dictate my actions. I live in the now, deal with the real, learn how silence can be as powerful as words, and how to sashay out of a space that no longer fits and sit comfortably elsewhere in my skin. That's one. Okay, thank you. Next piece is called I'm Drippin Melanin. I'm dripping melanin wherever I go. In the winter, I'm brown sugar. In the summer, cocoa. This melanin makes me darker than most, like a little bit of milk in a cup of dark roast. Proud of the skin I'm in, love being brown, love being ethnic, I wear it like a crown. Don't even try to minimize my glow. I'm leaving my melanin wherever I go. Step back, mere mortals, I have arrived. Fall to your knees, I'm the queen of the hive. Feeling myself and it feels so good. Don't question my stature, I wish you would. I'm dripping melanin wherever I stand. I'm proud of the skin I'm in, and I'm feeling grand. That's true.
Loving this. I feel very proud right now.
This piece is called Hermoso Negro. Hermoso Negro, my dad would say, as he pulled the hairs from his chin with a tweezer. I would watch him move his face closer to the mirror in the bathroom. Hermoso Negro, he would say again. Handsome man. I guess that's how my dad saw himself, or that's what he said when he visited my school on Parents Teachers Night. My female teachers acted like he was handsome. 6'2", not so dark-skinned, with a strong Caribbean accent, a professional man who at a distance looked a little like Harry Belafonte. My dad was a novelty at my school in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. Mr. Woods, you look like Harry Belafonte, my homeroom teacher said. My dad would respond with a toothy grin. He would set up conferences with my teachers to discuss my entire life. If I should be allowed to watch soap operas, the merits of reading fiction books, and what my appropriate bedtime should be. I often wondered if my teachers understood most of what he was saying, because at no time did he ever try to minimize his Caribbean accent. I remember being embarrassed in front of my friends when he would say tree for 3, glass for window, and how you going, instead of how are you. But he always spoke unapologetically, and that part I liked.
Lovely, lovely.
I have one more, if that's okay.
One more, yeah.
Okay, so this piece is called COVID-19.
Very timely.
What's that?
Very timely.
April 5th, during COVID-19, my father passed away, and this day became a tribute to his life and his death. He died the same week with other great men, Ellis Marsalis, Bill Withers, David Driscoll. My homage to them became my homage to him. April 5th, Palm Sunday, the final chapter of Jesus' life on earth, a time of victory and a celebration of peace. I don't feel peace. I feel useless. I can't fly to see him. I can't be with him. April 5th, COVID-19, the uninvited guest, has closed airports and countries and left us in isolation. This unaccustomed silence of isolation feels like the world is aware and on pause to pay reverence to my father. April 5th, online, I'm overwhelmed by social media posts that offer prayers and sympathy for my father, whom very few knew. The post suggests they know he was special, even if he wasn't always perfect, but that he loved me and my siblings that he could. That's 4.
Thank you so much.
For
It's a
sharing.
beautiful
And
tribute.
again, we are sorry for your loss, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's just
I can't imagine them listening.
yeah, it's hard.
COVID. Wow.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
See, that's the
All
virtue.
right, so next,
Let's try to get happier.
okay, we're gonna
I
try.
want to say that's the virtue of poetry. That's the healing power of poetry. I'm saying, just so you heard, that's the healing power of poetry, and thank you for writing that.
Absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely. So the next person is Rose Drew.
Sarah.
No, it's Rose Drew. Sarah is rounding it out. We had this discussion.
Oh, my bad. So y'all got to watch us argue for real. Rose Drew, it's all you.
Good. Is my microphone on? Everything is on.
Yes.
Good. Okay.
Yes.
Hello. Yes. This is great because I'm an American, but I'm also in England. And when I talk, I have to say I'm in York, and they go New York, and I go no, Old York, Old York. So that's why I got in the habit of saying York in Yorkshire, because otherwise they're like New York. I'll go to a poetry event, a little thing, and they'll go, where are you from? And I'll say York, and they'll say New York. I'm like, no, I didn't fly 4,000 miles for you know. So yes, I always say York in Yorkshire, but it was good to hear another English accent. Right. 3 poems. Oh. And because we have some folks from England and some from America, I've changed. Okay, this one's set, it's a travel poem, if you will, but it's not really about travel. And so in the end, I had changed oyster card to travel card, but I'll just leave it travel card. But the British people can know I'm saying oyster card. All right. Journey. 1, King's Crossing. He walks his daily tightrope, head dropped forward, eyes tight to floor tiles, arms hugging side, a tight shuffling walk. All in black, simplicity for dressing in the mornings. I hope he's splashed out on gray or a mild blue, though those black jeans, black jacket, black sneakers give me doubt. But he's out there. He maneuvers firm control, one tube station to another, one obligation to another, rising brave to lunge into the noisy crowds, traverse the large and frightening spaces alone. 2, Victoria. Her eyes gleam at the tales of children she teaches. 2 days a week, 2 hours a time, lessons in homework, role-playing, practical sessions in how to survive. How can you work with kids like that, she's asked. But I know how. The frustrations, the rewards, how always searching for another way to explain the world teaches you more than you bring to them. Fresh from Argentina, she travels Europe alone on a recast honeymoon now that the fiancé has failed, and her children, the ones she loves, will feel some vague peace when she returns. Besides, you never know. The one who is most lost may grow to own a dozen matching jeans in future closet. Learn to trek the underground, head down, arms stiff with effort. Travel card, safe within a fist. That's 1. Little one. Baby food. My first baby food was mango. I know this to be true. I know because my mother told me, and I love the taste of sweet summer and the sea and comfort. My mother left me with a friend the first 2 years of my life. I know this because my dad told me, kept blurting it actually the last 2 years of his life. I know this because he insisted. Everyone else knew too, said nothing because back then such things were shameful. I ask my mother about this friend often. She forgets her name. I sneak the question in between her rambles among lucid moments. Still she forgets. I ask about mangoes. She forgets those too. My first baby food was mango. I believe this might even be true.
Very nice. Very nicely constructed.
Thank you.
This is why you, sweetheart, have a publishing house. You know what good poetry is.
And open mic.
And an open mic series.
Yeah.
Wow.
Amazing.
Actually, yes. Our open mic's been running every first Tuesday of the month for 14 years. And now that we're on Zoom, all y'all could join us if you want. It'd be kind of neat. We had people from Las Vegas last time and Rhode Island and all over the UK. So, you know, do that if you want to. We've been meeting at the Exhibition Hotel in York for forever, since 2006. Anyway, third poem.
Of that. Would you send a notice of that? I'm easy.
Absolutely.
AxelRodThePoet at yahoo.com.
Absolutely.
All
yes,
one word,
absolutely.
AxelRodThePoet at yahoo.com. And
okay.
then I can tag you into some other folks here who'd like to be a part of that.
That would be great. That would be really, really cool. I have to, because we can't go on all night. It's only the first 30 readers, so because each get 5 minutes, and otherwise it just goes on forever. But I would love to hear different voices. It would be really cool. It'd be really nice. Last time we had 27 people were part of it, but only 24 people read, so it'd be room for more, and not everyone will join us, and so definitely. Okay, this one's called Charity, because here in England, Goodwill and the like is called a charity shop. So this takes place in a charity shop, which is Goodwill or what have you. And I love those. Everyone loves those, right? Charity. Browsing wistful in Salvation Army, seeking that which cannot be purchased. She wanders to the curtains. Kitchen's cold this winter, those lacy scraps that guard the door, inadequate. Oh my, she whispers, stroking familiarity slouched over a metal hanger. This wide and colorful print of Rousseau-esque flowers, human-sized in dimension and boldness, set to dazzle against pale linen. She sees 2 matching chairs, upholstered in this exact pattern, morning sun slanting playful across their cheeriness. No memory remains of where she bought them, undoubtedly new, to brighten a single mom's living room. Christine, too, is there, neighbor, ancient daughter of Mississippi tenement farmers, bowed by years of work. Sun, deficiency. Oh my, the older woman sighs, caressing a chair. I remember this, my favorite pattern at the factory, how I loved to sew up curtains made of this same fabric, the same one. It really takes me back. Oh my, murmurs the younger woman, 20 years into the future, Christine, chairs, house, country, not gone, just misplaced. Nothing is ever truly lost, she decides, that is hidden somewhere safe, refindable within the unexpected. Thank you.
Thank you for coming on. We really appreciate it. All right, and then our last guest of the day, Sarah Eunice.
Sarah has been so patient.
Hello.
Sarah,
Hi, guys. Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you.
Cool. Hi, I'm Sarah Eunice. Jada Malona, thank you for having me. I was named the 2020 Poet of the Year in their magazine, 25 Hottest. And I recognized a couple people here. Rose Drew, I interviewed for that magazine. Hi, Rose. And I recognize Sherry from some other events recently. So hi, Sherry. So if it's okay with you guys, I might take a screenshot just so I can post it on my Instagram, and you're welcome to follow me. It's Sarah Eunice Writing with underscores instead of the space. So is that okay with everyone? Okay, let me do it right now while I have your attention. So, all right, I'll do a countdown if you want to smile, or just put black on your screen if you don't want to be on it, because I understand not everyone's comfortable. So, all right, 3, 2, 1. Thanks, guys. You look wonderful. I was like, what poem should I share today? I had no idea. But then I was like, it's Earth Day. Why don't I share something related to nature? So many poets write about nature. They're inspired by nature in writing. And while I mostly write about love, my theme or meaning behind poems is often love. I still want to share some poems that are related to nature or kind of inspired by nature. So that's what I have today. I have 3 of them. And so I guess I'll start off with a silly one. It's a little bit of a lighter tone than what we've heard today. It's called If the Sun Were Falling. If the sun were falling, would you still love me if the sun were falling and the world burned the way you burn toast in the morning? Would you still love me if global warming drowned our cottage where we spent time adoring? Would you still love me in a volcanic eruption, lava bubbling away our flesh? What an unpleasant interruption. I would still love you if the sun were falling. I don't mind burnt toast in the morning. I would still love you despite global warming. It would only be hotter for adoring. I would still love you if a volcano erupted, scoop you away from the lava, and spare you from the trauma of your worries of the ifs in the world. Our love is more than an earthly thing. That's it. Thank you for the claps.
Hard now.
This next one's kind of about roses, but it's not about Rose Drew, okay? Just so we're clear. It's called Roses in December. A sidewalk chilled in frost, yet gardens bloom among neighbors' gates, pink and white and red, roses in December. A sweet surprise, an unexpected delight that doesn't fit quite right. You were my December rose, such a lovely unplanned gift, an added smile to my morning walks. Yet you do not belong, you are too soon, my dear. It is not your season, so I cannot reason why I should have roses in December.
My second poem. I'm sorry, I forgot this time. Good. I was like, oh yeah, I can see it.
And this last one is called Footsteps in the Wilderness. Footsteps in the wilderness, crunch, crack, scrape, trudging and drudging along. Each foot heavy with a worn tan hiking boot, lace tightly secured. Thud, 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 step after step, maneuvering around large boulders and tree roots puncturing the trail. Socks wrapped in a coat of dirt while eyes scrutinize for trail markers. A trail marker in disguise leads astray by its lies. Footsteps enter uncharted territory like a misguided love story. Footsteps in the wilderness, working only to be fooled. Head may know, but feet were too slow. Now left, trudging and drudging along, isn't right. Be here now and into the night. If not skewed, could be enjoying the view. My poems. So thanks for listening.
We really appreciate it. Okay, so I guess
I
we
ask one question.
We should ask a couple of questions.
Yes. So first of all, I'd like to ask the question. I know Jay's going to do the final question. I already know this. First, I'd like to ask the question: what advice do you give to poets out there to keep going? Because I know people always say poetry is not a way to make a living, or you should do something else with your life. So, what advice did you give?
Anybody.
I'm going to give advice because I'm also a book publicist as well as a poet. And so I encourage my clients that are poets to have other ways to get their poetry out there. So for instance, I host a series called Words, Wine, and Wings. And so I noticed too that whenever I host and I read, I sell books. I also do the library circuit. I've done conferences. I think that the plus about being a poet is that you can insert yourself into many, many different events. I used to write strictly about love, life, and relationships, but I've done a poem at a mass marriage renewal ceremony. I've read poems at weddings. So I think I encourage poets to think outside the box. And there are many ways to get opportunities. And I think we do better when we read, we sell. I notice overall, because, you know, when you ask someone, my test is out, ask someone how many living poets that they actually know. And we're just not as popular as the novelists, whatever, other than with inside our communities. So that's my PR advice.
Thank you very much, Sherry. Rose, would you like to answer this? Okay.
Well, yeah, I think that you just keep writing. I think poetry is a way of getting your thoughts down succinctly. You don't have to have perfect sentences. You can make up your own words. You can create images that you want. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to have the perfect answer. Someone once described a poem as the world's shortest short story. And I think it is that, because it is like a short story. It's got a beginning, a middle, and end. It could be a slice of life. It could be your observation of someone walking down the street, just like a short story. So it has to have that kind of cohesion, but you can get there any way you want. And Sherry, I like your ideas. You're right. You're exactly right, because poetry fits into everything. You wouldn't call a novelist to read at someone's wedding or funeral or whatever, but poets just, we stand up and we have things that just fit the mood, right? And so I think that's exactly right. So that's excellent advice. So stolen, no, I really like it. Good for you, Sherry. I like that. Yeah, that's good stuff.
I think we all wrote that down. I was like, oh, let me just write that. We're gonna write "Don't Fit in the Box." No, we're gonna write "Reading at Someone's Wedding." That's what we're gonna write down there. We wrote it all down. It was down. Okay.
Mr. Axelrod, I know that you got to buy a car off of the the royalties of your book. We all want to know how to buy that little red sports car off our royalties.
Well, no, to correct you with that, I actually did a book about a wonderful women's rights advocate named Merlin Stone. And if you Google Merlin Stone or Merlin Stone Remembered, that probably is the best royalty I got that helped me buy an antique sports car. But listen, as a poet, I'm going to say around the world a couple of times. Look, there are 7 or 8 of you today, and we've networked. So I've been able to go, well, more recently it was to London and read a couple of times in London, to Vienna a couple of times and read, lived in China, lived in Serbia, Macedonia, Ireland a few times. It's a wonderful community of poets, is often connected by the heart. It's a heart connection. But on the other side too, if you only measure with dollars, clearly you're missing the point. It's the healing power of writing. Poetry is a wonderful wellness tool. And how do you measure wellness? Not in dollars, but in peace of mind. And I see people nodding. I'm glad you're nodding. I really believe in that. And so I think that I've been in places where, for instance, I arrived in town, got off a plane in an airport, and people actually said, oh my God, there's the poet. And when I looked at let me think where that was, in New Mexico, I was going to read at the university. There was a picture on the front page of the elephants coming down Main Street for the circus in town. I don't know if they still have circus parades. And there I was on the front page under the elephants. It said, David Axelrod, poet in town. How many people get to be under the elephants and get put on the front page? There are a lot of rewards to being a poet, but I think the best is the community that I'm meeting you people online. Follow up and it isn't so much Google me, it's contact me if you can. I mentioned Poetry Doctor. And so we're a network, and if you wind up in Florida, you got a place to crash.
Absolutely. Okay, so the famous last question.
And he's actually not joking.
Yeah.
If you end up in Florida, you can come go do readings and stuff.
It was real fun. We had a great time.
Yeah,
Okay,
Sandy,
so I guess.
Darling, my wife, Sandy puts up with me. We have a standing agreement. She's not around, but I'd say it in front of her. She's agreed that I don't have to go to church with her, and she doesn't have to go to the poetry readings. But we both love each other's friends, so you're always welcome.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so I guess the last question would be, where can people find out more about you? And let's see, I guess we'll start with David Driver.
If you want to find out a little bit more about me, my books are available on Amazon. I have a number of poetry collections. I have a children's sci-fi novel available, and also a few short story collections. And I also broadcast on Dry Stone Radio. That's 103.5 FM. And for all you lovely people in the good old United States, you can tune in online. That's drystoneradio.com, and just click on the red button, listen live. I have the Writer's Bookshelf, which goes out every Tuesday evening, and that is that's UK time, 7 p.m. until 10 p.m. UK time, and that does promote poets, writers, anybody in the world of writing. I do promote them, and if you go there now, there's a podcast. I only have about 6 podcasts there for about a month, so that's where you can find my work. And this probably only applies to Sharina or possibly Rose. I do have my open mic night, which is Gingerlicious Nights, and that's every second Monday of the month. But as you know, Rose, it's cancelled at the moment. Well, we're on lockdown, but you lovely people can fly over if you want.
Listen,
Thank
I'm
you so
sorry.
much. Okay,
I was going to say, David knows that we will take him up on that offer when the world opens back up.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I'll be there.
Yeah,
Sharina?
I'll pay the airfare as well.
David, don't change your name, David. But David, I didn't get the last name. Could you do that same thing and just email me so we make a connection?
The name of the radio station, David, did you ask?
No, your name, so that I can make a
driver,
connection.
driver, as in taxi driver. David Driver, as in taxi or bus driver.
Bingo. Okay.
You've got it?
Yep.
Okay. Brilliant.
Sharina,
where can people find more about you?
Yeah, so I share my poems online. So like on Facebook, I've got a Facebook page, and it's just under my name. So if you type in Sharina Lee Satie, my poems will come up there, and same on Instagram and Twitter as well, and YouTube.
Okay, fabulous. Tegan
is not here anymore.
Oh, she's gone. Well, you can find out more about her, I guess.
On Facebook. Yeah, she's a poet, but she's also a producer in Hollywood. So she does more of her work producing movies than she does writing poetry. But you see she writes nice poetry.
So Sherry?
I'm available at sherryamore.com. And because I'm actually Caribbean Canadian, I spelled Amore the British way. So it's CHERRIE, that's my name, and AMOUR.com. And I'm also on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter as Sherry Amore. Sarah, are you local? Sorry, Sarah, are you local?
Yes, I'm in Anne Arundel County.
Can we touch base? Because I do a series, in Baltimore, and I have people from the DMV. So
that'd be wonderful.
Like maybe fabulous do a feature. Okay.
That'd be great.
Well, Sarah, since you're up here, absolutely. Where can people find more about you?
Here, I'll just copy and paste the links. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Tumblr. You can email me. It's Sarah Eunice, Y-O-U, like you, N-E-S. Almost like Venice, but not. But
okay, absolutely.
Like the links, I just sent them via chat. A lot easier.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Okay, perfect.
Rose, where can people find more about you?
All right. Let me think. I did a TED Talk that was, I called it, I Am Not a Silent Poet, but they renamed it The Power of the Spoken Word. And I just thought, anyway, that they changed the name of my TED Talk, but that's okay, fine. I don't mind. I really don't. I run a poetry open mic. I have a publishing company, Stairwell Books, which is, I'm going to take an idea there. That's a good idea. Put that in there. Stairwell Books, which I can't spell, .co.uk. You can always do that. And you can find, if you want, you can find York Spoken Word. That's Old York. And that's on Facebook, and you can Zoom with us, and I'll send the link if someone private messages me, because I just can't put the link up there, because then, you know, they'll just do weird things. And then there's my TED Talk, that's right. And you can just Google Rose Drew and find me on YouTube doing a couple of little things, and that'd be about it. And I had a book that came out a long time ago, and one coming out someday in the future. That's it. Thank you.
Fabulous.
Very much. I enjoyed this. It's been fun. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'm hoping that the people in England will drive to each other's open mics. And congratulations.
You know, when it opens, y'all don't do it before. Please don't. But you know, when it opens. Okay, so I guess since we are poets, I guess we should read some of our pop poetry to round out this day. Yay! From one of our literary life guides, we call pop poetry, aka one of our books.
So we have 2 readings, and we each decided to take a suggestion, and we turned our readings into the book, which is called Thoughtful Collections of Misfit Guides. And our series that they come from are the And I Thought and the Misfit Guides. So there we go.
And well, Nona is the dramatic one of us all, so that's why she does all the readings.
Yeah, but Jade is the 2019 Poet of the Year.
Yeah, that's funny how that worked out. I don't know, but it did. So,
all right.
Well, Nona, without further ado.
If you guys don't mind. So I'm reading Gifts in Little Boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Paper money in your hands means so much as you grow up. I have no abundance of such a resource. I have no money, so I give to you. A devoted mother in the church of your life, your proper upbringing is my religion. Your dreams are my beliefs. And the long hours at work with those co-workers are my prayers. Would this work in the stead of money, my sweet baby? 4 quarters equals $1, but I have only 3. I can't give you $1 for the vending machine, soda, and school to fit in with the cool group. But instead I give to you extra time at 2 jobs, reading books to keep up with your schoolwork, an extra class at home to stay just 1 step ahead of those who have tutors. An archaeologist digging through government programs and cutting red tape so your space cans this summer can be free. I give to you a pillar to climb on, to kick in frustration, to stand on and not to worry about it falling. Will this do as the last quarter? Will it be enough? I have no credit for the college loan, but I have a little hope left in my jar. It looks like those prayers, well, they turned into clothes and field trips. But if I hit my knees just one more time and arise with just one more job, you can go to the state college. And with that scholarship, you can stay on campus. I am married to the idea of your education. I will dress you in all the fineries that my hand can stitch. You will parade down the aisles of that lecture room with all new books. You will hear every holy word from those lecturers' lips, and you will swear to remain on the pathway to success, never adulterating it with foolishness. I have no savings, but will a partner do? I have money, Mom, but will a phone call do until I'm due at home with the kids? I have a job, Mom, but we will have to make do. I have it all, Mom, but I can't give it to you. So take this change jar filled with tears for the days I forgot, the days you remember, the times that will pass with your absence. I keep all your gifts. I can't tell this stone how much they meant. Now, I'm going to go read now something a little happier. This is called Unexpected. Because, you know, you got to end on a happy note. You can't go, like, talking to stuff. All right. Hobbling, wobbling, stumbling, or bumbling. A person swinging, singing, laughing, swerving, and chatting. In a chorus. The strides in perfection, they're one-sided and lopsided. The heels are pumped, but the memories are stilettos. Skyscrapers of beauty, particles of sand, the breeze beneath the poem. May I say? Dare I say? This life is grand. If you can afford it, this is intimate. The places you can go on a broken heel with your friends for a steal. Bewildered, awed, and overwhelmed. While holding the world on his axis one shoulder at a time. Praying that these hopes can carry you through just one more stop. But oh, the places you'll see. On one good heel and two awesome friends. So a traveler may return as poor as when he left. But it is the pathway that he travels that gives him a wealth of treasure to dispense of whenever. Because it is at his discretion that he can give his wealth that is unimaginable. I want to thank everyone for joining us today. And Jade, would you wrap us up?
So thank you. You can find out everything you ladies are doing at www.andwethought.com. But really thank all the poets that showed up today. We really appreciate it. So wisdom is all around you if
you're open to finding it and accepting it. So peace and love, you guys, from Winona.
And Jade. Bye-bye.